Well, the homeowners here in the Lakes of River Trails community in Hurst waking up with quite the mess. We've got trees uprooted, we've got fences completely ripped to shreds laying on the ground. I want to prove to you how powerful those winds were this morning due to that storm that rolled through DFW. We've got crews repairing the stoplights right now. Those are brand new lights. This is what used to be up there, and it's laying right here on the ground, but that's not where it was this morning. This morning, it was in that homeowner's backyard right there. You can actually see where it plowed through the fence. So we're talking some very powerful winds here. This fence over here has a temporary fix to it. It was laying completely on the ground. The homeowner had a giant tree. Well, that tree is now across the street. It plowed into that fence over there. So we're talking very powerful winds, swirling winds as well. We've walked all through this community. We've seen trees uprooted. We've seen car windows busted out, home windows busted out, the roofs completely off of houses. So a lot of damage here. So the homeowners here in Hurst, they have a long day ahead to clean up this mess that storm this morning left behind. My goodness, we're talking some powerful stuff. Brandon Hamilton, News 8. Yes, we're still on Bowspirit Street in Hurst. A lot of the homeowners here, I've talked to them as they wake up. They're seeing all the damage. They swear that a small tornado definitely touched down here. You're looking at a car that has its back window busted out, possibly by a tree or another piece of flying debris. We've seen security lights, all kinds of debris on the streets. You can see basically every yard out here has a tree down, completely split in half. I want to take you on a little walk up this sidewalk and show you some of the other damage. Once you get to this house up here, you're going to see that the siding is completely ripped off of the side of the house. It's laying down on the ground there. As we continue to walk here, we talked to this homeowner up here who claims that his wife was once in a tornado. She was lifted up in a trailer, so she knows what it's like to be in a tornado, and she swears that they had a tornado this morning. As we walk back to his backyard, it's a complete mess. The fence is completely twisted, debris everywhere. He said all of this stuff was under his porch, and now it's just laying about all over his backyard. Check it out. My goodness, these homeowners are waking up to a lot of damage. Some of them, quite frankly, are shocked by what they're seeing. We've seen people walking around their cars with a flashlight, seeing if they have any damage. So that's what they're waking up to here on Bowspirit Street in Hurst. Damage everywhere, trees down, car windows busted out. So a lot of work to be done to these houses. Now they're going to have to start replacing fences, replacing windshields. So not a good morning for them, but the good news, nobody here said they were in danger. Everybody was safe here. We're going to continue to travel around and find some more damage for you this morning on News 8 Daybreak. Well, you know the drill, guys. Anytime we have storms like this, we deal with lightning. I'm sure you've seen the skies lighting up this morning, and lightning may be the cause of this house fire here behind me on the 7400 block of Aberdeen in Rowlett. So what we know is around 4 o'clock this morning, a 911 caller indicated hearing a very large boom, and then shortly after, a fire started on the second story. Again, the 7400 block of Aberdeen. So the Rowlett Fire Department quickly arrived on scene. They did a search of the property. They established water supply, and around 5 o'clock this morning, they were able to knock the fire down and completely extinguish it. They did another search. Nobody in the house. All firefighters accounted for, so nobody injured in this. They have since shut the water supply off, so it looks like this scene is pretty much clear here. But again, lightning, the cause of a house fire in Rowlett this morning.
Overnight, our Brandon Hamilton is in downtown Fort Worth right now, where I understand a church has sustained some damage there, Brandon.
Yeah, that's right. We're on Samuels Avenue in Fort Worth. There's the steeple right back there. Obviously, this is an older building built out of wood there, so it was pretty easy for that to come down. But still, old building, steeple down. That's the Samuels Avenue Neighborhood Center. So it's not really used for a church. It's more of a community space. So that's kind of sad there. They're going to have to repair that steeple there, get that back up. Down the street here on Samuels Avenue, you can see we have the electric crews down there trying to repair some power lines, get some electricity back. We've got down trees here as well. We've got a big tree right here that's completely split in half. A lot of debris on the road here, but again, the big story here is that steeple that's down at the Samuels Avenue Neighborhood Center. A sad sight to see there, but just proof of these storms that rolled through this morning. We've been driving around, we've been seeing a lot of damage, and so now we're here in Fort Worth, Samuels Avenue, where that steeple is now off of that neighborhood center. So sad story here. They're going to have to get back to that and repair that, and I know a lot of you out there are waking up to damage this morning. We'll continue to drive around and try to find some more damage for you guys. Well, good morning. I mean, Every time the rain falls here, every single drop just adds to the fear of flooding, especially here by Duck Creek in Garland. Glenbrook Drive is right behind me on the other side of this creek here, and that's where we've seen so many stories from the flooding in May, especially that white stately house that was completely ruined by the floods in May. That's behind us over on Glenbrook. But this here is Duck Creek. This is a drainage system that's running off from Odin Park. So we are in Garland at Odin Park right now, and this is just a drainage system coming from the parking lot of the park and draining directly down into Duck Creek, and it's just a constant flow of water continuously adding to the level of Duck Creek. This specific section, though, is actually a bit higher, though, so the bank is very high, so it doesn't look like the water is getting too close to the bank just now, so that is some good news. But obviously some other areas downstream from this creek have a lower bank. Well, good morning to you. Right now we are in Odin Park, which is in Garland. Duck Creek is right behind me, and on the other side of Duck Creek, that is Glenbrook Drive, which we've heard a lot about back in the floods in May. One white house completely destroyed during those floods, and we walked through that house with Marie Saavedra last night on WFAA. But right now we are at Odin Park. The rain continues to fall. I've been checking out some of the drainage systems that actually drain down into Duck Creek, and they are just flowing constantly. Water continuously filling up Duck Creek. The bank is pretty high here, though, so I think the concern of flooding right here at Odin Park is probably pretty low due to the very high bank. But as you go downstream, that bank lowers, and that's where the flooding risks definitely are heightened. So for homeowners here and people that live along Duck Creek in Garland, I'm sure they are on very high alert as they look outside and see the heavy rain falling, because they experienced it in May and they could experience it again with these heavy rains. So we will continue to watch the conditions here. Again, we are right by Duck Creek in Garland at Odin Park, and right now I haven't heard of any major problems in the Garland area just yet. On our drive here, my photographer Tom Costley, he had both hands on the wheel. We hit some high standing water on a lot of the secondary roads, and that's the biggest concern out there right now, is that high standing water on the roadways. Make sure you stay in that high lane, because all the water is rushing down to those lower lanes, and especially in intersections as well. That's where you will see a lot of high standing water. So the biggest concern right now, the ponding on the roads, but we will continue to watch Duck Creek here in Garland throughout the morning.
Good morning, guys. Yes, we've been east of Dallas all morning. We've been in Garland. We've been in Rowlett, but right now we are on 635 West in Garland, and a lot of rain and a lot of brake lights. It's very slow out here on the interstates and highways. We're approaching that crash that Sergeant Nick was talking about on 635 West and Forest, so very slow on this side of town. But the biggest problem are those secondary roads, the side streets, where we have seen a lot of high-standing water east of downtown Dallas, in Garland, in Rowlett. So the secondary roads are where you really need to be careful. 2 hands on the wheel. Take it slowly. Do not drive through water that looks like it's covering the entire roadway. So, again, the highways, the interstates, very slow this morning. The secondary roads, that's where you really need to be careful with that high-standing water.
Yeah, a lot of the homeowners here are just now waking up. They're opening their garage doors. They're walking outside and seeing the damage for the first time. And quite frankly, some of them are pretty shocked to see a lot of the trees completely split in half as you drive down this street. This is Bowspirit Street in Hurst. Almost every single tree split in half. We've got trees up against cars. I'm seeing a guy back there walking around his truck with a flashlight, making sure there's no damage there. But I saw a couple of cars with busted out windows from the trees that are just simply flying down the street this morning. Over here, we've got a little bench that's flipped over. And check out this mailbox here. We're going to talk to Matthew Smith here, who's a homeowner. Look at his mailbox. Hit by a tree and just completely twisted. That is some serious damage here. This is Matthew Smith. Homeowner here has been living here for quite some time. Your wife has experienced a tornado before. She's been lifted up in a trailer. What did you guys experience this morning, though?
Well, we got the imminent alert that a tornado was on the ground on the phone. We turned on the radar, could see the hook over our neighborhood with the circular rotation. The sirens went off. The wife and the girls took shelter into the closet, and then we could hear it hit us, and we lost pressure in the house for about 45 seconds. It was pretty scary.
Well, I'm glad you guys are safe. I saw your backyard, his backyard. There are stuff everywhere. It looks like the fence was ripped up back there.
Both fences have been torn down. I lost my 10-year-old red oak. So the good news is no one was hurt.
That is good news. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. We appreciate it. As he mentioned, his tree that was once in his front yard is now 4 houses down up against a white car down there. And this is what you see as you walk along Bow Spirit here in Hurst. This is a security light from somebody's house. Who knew where this came from? But debris all over this road. Almost every yard has a tree down, cars damaged. A lot of these people think that something definitely touched down here. It almost looks like there was a path because you've got some trees that are damaged, and then you've got one like this one here that's just completely standing tall, no damage whatsoever. So again, here in Hurst, Bow Spirit Street, a lot of these homeowners think that something definitely touched down. Trees down, car windows busted, security lights all over the place, a lot of damage here. We'll continue to move around and try to find some more damage for you. Ron and Alexa, we'll send it back to you for now.